Welcome to Perspectives in Mobile, the news podcast from the Mobile Ecosystem Forum. Join us discussing the world of telecommunications, technology, and mobile innovations. From Florence, Ricardo Amati.
In a world where consumers are ditching apps and emails for richer, real-time messaging experiences, the race is on to redefine how brands engage and win on channels like RCS, WhatsApp, Viber, and others. At the center of this shift is Peacom, a carrier-grade messaging powerhouse that's helping telcos unlock new revenue streams while bringing enterprises closer to customers than even before. And is not going unnoticed. Peacom recently took home a MEFFYS Award, often called the Oscars of the mobile ecosystem, for excellence in the messaging category, cementing its place as a leader in the next-gen communications messaging channels category. Today, we're joined by Lex Na, CEO of Peacom, and Samir Seth, country director for Indonesia of the company, to explore the company's journey. Welcome, Lex. Welcome, Samir.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Ricardo, for introducing us, and we are very excited to be here. Thank you.
So we'll cover the vast market opportunity in multi-channel messaging, real-world success stories, and what the future of customer engagement looks like from the front lines. First question, probably to Lex for Lex. Lex, take us back to the founding of Peacom. What was the market gap, or the moment that led to the creation of the company?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It's an interesting historical moment for us. So some background about myself. I'm a serial entrepreneur with 2 exits. And after I sold my previous company, looking for something new and exciting to do, my 2 previous companies were B2C, meaning business to consumer facing. And then I always think about doing something B2B. So when I started to reconnect with my other partners that I've worked with in the past, especially Han is our main founder of this Peacom company. Um, he was always working in the telco space over the last 20 years of his career. So we thought about building something for telcos. And one major gap that we saw, whether you are a small startup or all the way to a large enterprise, I think the key challenge, especially in this current climate, is always how do you reach and engage your customers? We go all the way back from using SMSs to emails, and then slowly moving towards social media. And then now we believe that the future lies within messaging. I think the challenge with brands right now is they have spent tons of money building up their own infrastructure of mobile applications, websites, and trying to spend another huge amount of money getting users to their landing pages, and then eventually getting them to convert and do something that they want them to do. We feel that this is unnecessary, and we feel that the next key step is really to direct them to where the customers are already at. So we found out that there's this big challenge all the way for startups to enterprises, and we decided to build something on this specifically. And then once I have identified a key market, we realized that RCS is a new channel that a lot of other CPaaS players have not gone into yet. And as a startup, I think we need to be laser focused and to really carve our niche in whatever we do. So that's why, and that's how we went into the RCS space.
Right. Yeah, Samir, Peacom sits at the intersection of telcos and enterprise messaging. Am I correct? What were the early challenges in getting telcos to think beyond traditional SMS, new messaging?
So thank you so much, Ricardo and the MEF community. So it's a true honor for Peacom to be recognized at such a global level, especially at Capacity Barcelona this year. So this is a testament to our team relentless pursuit of innovation in messaging. And we are proud to be driving next wave of customer engagement through messaging innovation. So Ricardo, now your point of knowing like what the challenges that we are currently facing. So our first of all, our challenge is that especially when we talk about the Southeast Asia or Asia Pacific, this is most of the countries here are the mobile first. So this is primarily a mobile first market, and the messaging is a very common channel being used, but in different places, in different regions, a different kind of messaging channels are used. For example, Indonesia is predominantly a WhatsApp and SMS market, wherein when we talk about Philippines, it is Viber. In Vietnam, it is Zalo, and so on and so forth. So there is no single uniform, you can say, channel which is available and used commonly in the region. So what Peacom primarily is doing is that we are creating a complete omni-channel multi-messaging platform to address this problem. And using this, we are offering all kind of channels to the enterprises so that they can reach out to their customers in the right time. So, Ricardo, so basically, this is the very first thing that we would like to offer. Secondly, is the regulatory, because the different regions we have the challenge regarding the regulatory, and the regulatory comes from the national regulatory as well as from the telco regulatory. Because as you know, this RCS is a channel which is in most of the countries, it is managed by the telcos when it comes to the regulations. So that becomes another channel, and the regulatories are also not uniform. So we have to comply with the national regulations as well as with the telco regulation.
Telcos have historically been pretty slow to adapt new revenue models. How are you, Lex, how are you convincing them that advanced messaging is a path to a complete transformation, not just, a tech upgrade?
I mean, this is another great question. We did have a lot of challenges, especially when we were starting out. Why would a big telco work with a small startup like us? And how do we convince them to start using RCS? So we actually had this breakthrough through one of our key partners, Mobifone in Vietnam, when we started out in 2021, 2022. So they were one of our key supporters and very early supporters of our company. And that's how we started our journey getting our solution incorporated with one of the largest telco in Southeast Asia. And then thankfully, there was this startup program in Indonesia by Telkomsel. So Telkomsel had this innovation program, which we managed to join through the very early stage of our company. And with that, that also helped us to be part of Telkomsel's business journey to incorporate our solutions into their business units as well. So those two channels actually help us to get into our current position. And of course, through Telkomsel and also Google, which introduced us to these multiple telcos as well, help us to get into the telco space relatively easy compared to other companies that were in the space as well. So all these different channels really help us to break through compared to how if we were doing it ourselves, it would be extremely difficult to find who exactly within this large organization to speak with and to eventually push our product or to even start demonstrating our product in the first place. So of course, I think another key big one would be the internal team from Google as well. After our successes and very interesting use cases in Vietnam, they were sharing all this with their telco partners, of which when they were trying to push the adoption of Google RCS in other parts of the world, that's when we got introduced and we could showcase to these telcos what will be the benefits, how do we go to market, and eventually, we managed to clinch three of these major telco contracts and more to come in the coming few months.
The unavoidable question to the CEO: are we going to see new partnerships, new deals in the near future?
Yeah, we Yeah, we have currently about 20 to 30 different enterprises already using our solution. We also focus a lot on resellers, system integrators, resellers, aggregators. We welcome them to work with us. Currently, as of now, we have three major telcos, and as I mentioned, we have more telcos in the region coming up very soon. Mostly in Southeast Asia and North Asia as well, and hopefully some in the Middle East. So we have some really strong partners that we onboarded, which have these telco relationships in other regions of the world, which we don't have the connections necessarily. But these are some of the very exciting partnerships and new enterprises that are coming on board using our solutions.
Right, so you're negotiating deals even in the Middle East, which is will be a new area for you, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's very interesting. With artificial intelligence, automation, and communications platform as a service, CPaaS rising fast. Is your company positioning itself more as a messaging platform or like an orchestra director? I mean, is more an orchestration layer or just a message? I mean, I know it's the second thing, but please explain.
Yeah, this is something that we were struggling with during our early phases of fundraising, because we are essentially a piece within a very large ecosystem. And for investors who are not part of the telco space or the CPaaS space, it's very hard to explain to them what we actually do. And we had to explain the background and the different ecosystem partners. So as we see ourselves right now, we are essentially an infrastructure product offering to telcos, aggregators, and resellers partners. And essentially, we are this product that ties in multiple messaging channels, aggregated into one single unified, easy to use platform. And then that allows our partners to either white label and resell that to their existing enterprise customers, or enterprises, they themselves who wants to use this very powerful CPaaS product can also work with us directly. So this is the current stage of where we are at right now. But very quickly, we are expanding into different key verticals as well as horizontally across multiple functionalities. So as we grow bigger and bigger, as we fundraise and we get more customers on board, we are essentially building up the company to a bigger vision.
Like, so let's say an orchestration layer, something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Stemir, what does the global enterprise demand look like now, especially in emerging markets? And the Indonesian case is probably the one that you can really have insights on. Where are you seeing the most untapped messaging potential?
Okay, so well, you rightly said that Indonesia is a core growth market, and it applies to the Peacom also. So it's a core growth market for Peacom as well, both in terms of the enterprise adoption as well as in the telecom collaborations. So the rapid shift to mobile first engagement combined with increasing regulatory maturity makes it a prime environment for our multi-channel messaging platform. So what currently we are doing is that we are expanding our reach in key verticals such as fintech, e-commerce, telecom, logistics, travel, aviation, and so on, where messaging plays a mission critical role in customer services, in terms of the user acquisitions, in terms of the upsell, cross selling, and improving and enhancing the revenue for our partners, as well as for the transaction workflows. So, uh, particularly when we talk about the Indonesia or the Southeast Asia, like Vietnam, the Philippines, Thailand, where RCS and WhatsApp are gaining momentum, so our growth strategy always includes the investing in the regional language support. Localization is very important in this particular region, and we are also using AI-enabled chatbot-driven personalization and the developer APIs that allows for faster onboarding and innovation for our partners. This is how we are able to even onboard our partner seamlessly. We are also aligning our roadmap with the emerging trends like conversational commerce, AI orchestration, CPaaS monetization, and I think with all such strategies that Peacom has used in the region, we have seen that today we are having 150 plus enterprises that are using our platform either directly or through our partnerships.
So these are the verticals where you have seen strong traction or and even an innovative use case. I guess about case studies. Lex, could you give us an example? Give to our audience an example where your company unlocked, you know, measurable revenue metrics or engagement lift for a telco or enterprise. We were talking about all that, but a precise example, if you.
Sure. Yeah. And thanks, Ricardo. One of the key clients and case study that really put us on the spotlight is actually the one with Vietnam Airlines. So this is a national carrier of Vietnam. And what we did with Vietnam Airlines was really special. We are the first in the world to launch a fully automated check-in process on Google RCS, WhatsApp, iMessage, and Viber. So imagine you're a passenger. 24 hours before you board the plane, you receive a broadcast message with your flight information. And then there are buttons and images and step-by-step instructions that guides you through this whole entire process. And eventually you can get your digital boarding pass on your Apple Wallet or your Google Wallet without having to download the airline's application or having to go to the check-in counters and queue up for 1 hour. So this was very innovative. We launched this in 2023, and right now we have seen hundreds of thousands of check-ins so far on Vietnam Airlines using this specific use case. And with that, we have gone to multiple conferences, aviation festivals, and presented these solutions. Although it's extremely simple, but a lot of people who see this for the first time, they have their minds blown. And immediately we get a lot of requests or inquiries about this specific use case from the airlines directly. So currently we are having multiple rollouts with different airlines and speaking to airports as well on how can we use this solution to reduce congestions and also improve the customer satisfaction level so that you don't have to really be too concerned about the check-in process and just be on time and be able to get into the gates without having any kind of worry or concerns. So this is something that we innovated and we came up with. And of course, the airlines are also very excited. What is next? After you have gotten your boarding pass, we can immediately do upselling of, let's say, the seats, or you need additional luggage spaces that can be done. Or we can also push cross-selling of like eSIM cards, travel insurance, because we know exactly where you are flying to. Okay, so with all these different combinations of technology, AI, and also customer data, we could serve the customers a very useful product offering or service instead of just spamming you advertisements like what previously they were doing on email or SMS. So this is very cool.
You're going to expand this offer to the airliners. And you were talking, Lex, of hundred of thousands, probably even millions of users, and how the company can ensure scale, security, and uptime. With partners, enterprises engaging millions of users. I mean, I just wanted to give the size and scope, of your enterprise.
Yeah. So based on the scale right now, we are already sending out hundreds of millions of messages on a monthly basis through our platform across different telcos, reseller partners. For the airlines specifically, we are doing hundreds of thousands of messages or check-ins so far. From a security perspective, because we are sending it directly to your phone number or to your sender ID, it's very similar to, let's say, like a SMS or through a push notification via to your mobile application. So as long as the user has usage of their phones, and they log in via their own fingerprints or Face ID through Apple. Most of the time, this is extremely secure. Then, of course, there are also, in an airline's specific case, because we have to showcase this specific solution to the airline security staff to tell them that, hey, we are going to implement this before we can even show up with a digital boarding pass on the phone. So all these steps, although it seems very easy from a tax perspective, we actually have to go through many red tapes and security clearances, whether it's from the airport side or the airline side, in order to get this implemented. So all these steps are already being discussed upon and implemented and rolled out through production. Of which, with this live example, we can easily then replicate it across different regions or different airlines just by tweaking it or localizing it.
Samir, do you see a future where Peacom becomes, let's say, more than what it is, like beyond messaging, like a central nervous system for enterprise to consumer engagement? Is there a possible expansion of the company?
Okay, so well, Ricardo. So first of all, I think what Lex and I have been saying that we are seeing the messaging not just as a medium, but as a gateway to seamless digital experiences. So just now, even Lex has shared the brilliant use case from one of the global airline. So here, messaging just remains a channel, but important is that we are providing a complete digital experience, and Peacom is committed to leading this kind of a digital transformation. So we are not just connecting the brands and the customers, but we also help build conversation that convert, support, and also the scale. And your, if I come specifically like how what Peacom team innovating with respect to our application, making it beyond the messaging. So first of all, we are offering a complete AI enablement into our application. So we are doing AI orchestration into our application so that when the brand is going to use the application, it becomes very seamless to onboard and very quickly they can onboard. And number two, we are also working very closely with the AI providers such as Google Gemini. So we are working with Google Gemini. So providing uh, all the AI, adopting all the AIs so that uh, the onboarding becomes very, very easy for the brands. Then we are also providing a complete speed and simplicity in terms of where the user expect instant replies, clear navigation, fast resolutions. So that also we are providing through our seamless uh, customer journeys, so they don't drop off. And moreover, we are also providing uh, the LBA location based integrations with the help of our telco partners. We are also trying to do the campaign management and also uh, uh, including and integrating with the uh, profiling engine of our telco partners. So the businesses can start conversations with the right users in the right time. Finally, we also have the AI driven personalization. So we are enabling brands to use the historical data to personalize the messages, timing, and also the language. Different users has their own expectation when it comes to the timing, language, and the messaging, making each interaction feel relevant and also native. And moreover, we are also doing the device optimization, channel and device optimization. So we have clients send the right messages over the right channels based on the device type, fast engagement, and the user preferences, improving both delivery as well as the outcomes. So these are the things that we are offering through our platform for our partners.
Zamir, RCS, the big thing, high quality messaging, complex messaging. How do you see the role of RCS evolving in the next, let's say, couple of years? Um, is now a mainstream channel, or it will become a mainstream channel? Just your take on RCS.
Okay, so first of all, as we can see that messaging is there even decades ago. Until today it is there, and the messaging will remain there. And as we have been emphasizing, now we have started using messaging to provide the actual solutions or the real solutions. So we are just considering this as a messaging. We are, for us, it is a medium. And on this medium, we are trying to build the different digital experiences for our enterprise partners. And this is where I think how the entire transformation is taking place for the messaging. For example, the countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, uh, where you see there are huge millions of messages. In fact, we can even say billions of messages are being sent every day. So, but mostly it is using all the text base. But now with all the interactive and the contextual messaging, I think the messages becomes much more powerful and a trusted tool, not just a spam tool, because we also need to fight with the mindset of messaging being spammed and insecure. So that is how we are bringing this RCS. We are promoting this technology, which is RCS messaging, Google RCS messaging, which is end-to-end encrypted in nature. This is also a verified messaging, so that the end user can have a more trust, and the engagement is also seamless. And Peacom is committed to leading this transformation for the telecom operators as well as for the digital marketing agencies and even the enterprises.
And finally, Lex, if we were having this conversation, let's say, in 1 year from now, what headline would you want me to have to the interview?
Wow. Looking into the future, I hope that we would have already raised our next round of funding in a much bigger scale. That allows us to deploy our capital into more countries, more regions. So you would see Peacom in more countries, definitely. And with that, having more offices, more employees, that allows us to then break through into multiple telcos. Hopefully additional 3 to 5 times more telcos, and then another 5 to 10 times more enterprises. So that, I would believe, would be the next 12 months roadmap that we are targeting. Because I think one thing that you mentioned earlier on, we predict that the RCS volume would at least take over SMS volume by 2029. So this kind of a scale and exponential growth in the messaging space, and this new specific channel, that we have this first mover advantage on, we believe that we can use this first mover advantage to help us to propel ourselves to that kind of a goal and trajectory that we are aiming towards. So that's where we see our Peacom journey in the next 12 months. Being a much larger enterprise, and hopefully within the next 3 to 5 years, we can even go as big as a public listed company.
Good luck with the funding. You're negotiating, I think, with
Yep,
investors.
that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Lex Na, CEO of Peacom, and Samir Seth, who's the country director for Indonesia of Peacom, the company that won a MEFFYS Award, the Oscar of the mobile world, in the messaging channels category this year. That's all for this episode of Perspective, the MEF podcast where experts and industry leaders talk about what they think, see, and expect in the world of technology, telecommunications, and innovative mobile services. Stay tuned. From Riccardo Amati, goodbye and good luck with you.
listening to Perspectives in Mobile. Join us next as we explore telecoms, technology, and mobile innovations. Stay tuned, stay connected, and let's unlock the mobile potential together.